Welcome to another quick tutorial for those who prefer short and easy to follow videos. In this episode, we'll be exploring ways to reduce our turning radius and improve our ability to maneuver in tight spaces. If you are always on the go and don't have time for lengthy tutorials, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Remember how in one of our previous episodes we discussed how we can make our bike to do the work for us, how the handlebars turn more into the turn as we slow down. The slower we go, the more they turn, and vice versa. If we release the clutch slightly and accelerate, the handlebars will straighten out. To make a tighter turn, we can pull the clutch a little and apply some light pressure to the rear brake. As we continue to make our turning radius smaller and smaller, the handlebars will eventually reach a full lock position, where they can't turn any further. At this point, the front wheel of the bike is no longer able to self-steer and stabilize the bike. This causes our motorcycle to feel unstable and ready to tip over. But don't worry, the clutch can come to our rescue once again. By releasing the clutch slightly, the bike will gain speed and the front wheel will go straighter. That's one way. But to achieve an even tighter turn, we can release the clutch slightly while also forcing the handlebars to remain at full lock position. This will cause the bike to want to stand up, and the more we release the clutch, the more it will stand up. With practice, we can find the perfect amount of clutch and rear brake to keep the bike in full lock position and regulate the lean angle with our speed. On some bikes like cruisers, this technique can even allow us to achieve maximum lean angle and the smallest possible turning radius. Another technique which we can use to reduce our turning radius is counterbalancing. Counterbalancing involves shifting our body weight outside of the turn, on top of the bike, to make it lean more. As we know, the more the bike leans, the tighter the radius is. However, beginners can sometimes tend to overuse this technique. At slow speeds, the handlebar turn has a greater impact on the radius than the lean angle. You can still have a pretty decent turning radius by going full lock without leaning the bike at all. The difference in turning radius when using counterbalancing is significant, but not huge at all, as shown here. On a big heavy motorcycle, the difference will be even less obvious, since our body weight is less significant in comparison to heavy motorcycle. Therefore, counterbalancing should be treated as a secondary option, which is very useful but not mandatory. To make the most of counterbalancing, we can try turning our chest and shoulders into the turn while leaning the bike. This will allow us to turn our head more into the turn and keep our arms in a natural and relaxed position. This is especially useful for bikes with wide handlebars, such as cruisers or tourers. That about wraps it up for our lesson on making extra tight turns. If you are reaching to make your riding skills to the next level, be sure to check out my channel for some more in-depth tutorials. And if you are serious about becoming a truly skilled rider, you might want to consider one of my video courses. I have them both for beginners and advanced riders. These courses offer a comprehensive, step-by-step approach for self-training, with detailed explanations of each technique. All you need to get started is a bike, an empty parking lot, and some free time to practice. If you invest just a little bit of time, you will grow as a rider very fast. Thanks for watching, ride safe, and have a nice day! Bye!